Oh yeah, Blue Beetle is going to make all the money,
Oh yes.
which I think brings us to uh, our culture topic of the week.
Yes.
So there are kind of two related stories that um, that pair together well. Everyone's talking Snow White. Let's talk Blue Beetle first.
Yes.
So let's see here. Is Angel? Okay, Angel is the director of Blue Beetle, but has the actor said anything out of the out of left field or anything like questionable?
I don't know if he has or not.
Yeah, the director keeps shooting himself in the foot
Yeah.
because Angel Manuel Soto doubles down on promoting Blue Beetle with identity politics. Questions if it was possible to have a Latino superhero on a Times Square billboard. Um, well, so I guess I got to say that, look, man, I'm sorry that you were dealt a bad hand.
Yeah.
You bet on a dying horse.
Hmm. Yeah. The actor was Ninja say. The actor was in Magic the Gathering channel playing Lord of the Rings. Interesting.
Okay, so he's an actual nerd then, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. You know, Aaron Sparrow is somebody that we follow on Twitter. Uh,
Yeah,
said that I think uh, Latino audience. What did he say? Let me see.
I think Latino audiences would care more if Goku was on Times Square.
Yeah.
So I think that as one of the few people in the country who saw the Flash, the basic concept of adapting friggin' Flashpoint as your introduction to the Flash was stillborn from the start.
Yes.
I have a sneaking suspicion that that was done so that Jeff Johns could get another check. No confirmation, but he was an architect of the ZCEU, as memory serves.
He was. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Have no direct evidence for it, but when has that ever stopped a conspiracy theorist?
Yes. Yeah. And although I don't believe Ethan Van Sciver got one, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, which I haven't watched Ethan for a bit, but I'm sure that if he didn't get a check, then he was complaining about it,
Yeah, yes.
as is
uh,
his right.
yeah. 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 Ninja says he thinks the only controversy with the actor was in saying he won't promote the film. Oh well, that's not.
That's hardly a controversy.
No. Yeah.
That's like everybody's not doing that.
Right. Yeah. I don't think they can.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that would be scabbing.
Yes. Um. But but
Now the director, on the other hand,
yeah.
uh, I I keep seeing his name come up with like him saying divisive things,
Yes.
not even necessarily untrue things, because the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle story is about aliens doing a uh, corruptive form of colonialization.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Beetle confirms film includes themes of displacement, colonialism, and gentrification. Now, that that does bring up the question: Is he talking? Is that like happening just in the universe, or is that happening with the alien race that the Blue Beetle is there to fight?
Yeah. That's a good question. And I would probably we'd have to watch the movie to find that out, I guess.
Yeah, which
I have no interest in seeing this movie.
I'll catch it on streaming.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Because that's just it'll be a good thing of the week, and at some point.
Yeah.
But also it's like it sounds like it's just kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
Maybe if I hear amazing reviews,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe Flash was my one pity buy for a DCEU film.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it certainly won't be Aquaman 2.
No, I, I've heard enough about that to want to stay away.
Yes. Pun
Uh,
very much intended.
so the thing is that I'm not. I don't even want to get into whether the things he has said are true or not, because not on our that's not on my plate. I'd have to like dig into what he was saying, do research. Meh.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, what I want to say is, hey, dummy, you know that like while it's great that it is actually legitimately nice to get a Latino superhero because that is from my experience, uh, every Latino I know from work and other places is a weeb.
mm,
So a cool action movie starring a Latino character would have that appeal.
yeah,
But you're kind of by making that all I hear anybody talk about with this movie, you're driving out, oh man, this is a cool movie. There's a scene where Blue Beetle punches a T-Rex. Probably isn't, but I wouldn't have.
yeah,
All I know about the movie is in the trailer, which kind of makes it look like he's trying to be Iron Man slash Spider Man. But
yeah, yeah.
it's not a
Oh,
bad
yeah.
story to adapt.
No, and I liked him in Young Justice, the character in Young Justice. And I'm kind of curious if in the only thing I'm curious about with this movie is if the Scarab is talking to him.
I think in one of the trailers, the Scarab did say a line like "activating Blop."
Okay. Well, in Young Justice, it's like, I mean, it's like another voice in his head that's like telling him to do stuff.
So a little bit of venom in there too.
Yeah.
But now on the other hand, you could say, "Hey, man, I'm not getting not getting a royalty check at this point anyway, because it's bombing. So I'll say whatever I darn well please."
Yeah. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah. But it's just like, I mean, but you're not doing yourself any favors. I mean, it's this sort of the way he's acting sort of reminds me of Josh Trank with his Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, where Josh was complaining about it in advance, like, "Oh, this isn't my cut of the movie," yada yada.
Yeah, yeah. Although I don't know if that's the case with this movie, but it's kind of a
He
similar thing where he's like committing, career seppuku, and it's just
eh,
mm,
anti-marketing,
yeah, anti-marketing. Yeah,
and that's where these two kind of go together. Is the theme of the day is anti-marketing.
yeah.
Have you heard a single positive thing about Snow White in the run-up?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I heard somebody trying to say like it was somebody on Midnight's Edge was trying to say that there was like a positive, like, oh, the music is by the same people who did The Greatest Showman, and there are people who like that. Having seen Scrooged recently, which was also their music, it's like it's not. Dang, dang, was the music in that Star Trek special better than most of the songs in Scrooged?
Well, I didn't see Scrooge, so I can't comment.
I would have. Well, I don't want to watch both again, but
Yeah,
but it's in the running, and that we talked at length last week about how uninspired the musical was in Star Trek
yeah,
because they go for like wall of sound stuff.
right. Yeah, yeah. That was just that was painful. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that I think Pink Ladies might be better than both of them musical wise.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so dang, Paramount, stop making musicals. You clearly don't know
Yes.
what you're doing. At least
Yeah.
not for your streaming service. But back on point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so the actress who plays the actress who's going to play Snow White, Rachel Zegler, is just it's like they told her, we want to take the tax write off. Please go out and say, say as many things as possible to make people not want to see this movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's almost like they saw the same production stills that we saw a few weeks back, and they're like, "Oh God, this is going to be a disaster. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? We'll just have the actress go out and say stupid stuff. All right, all right, all right, all right. Wait.
Except that doesn't work because she's been saying stuff for like a year now.
We'll just let her keep talking.
Yeah. Um, so like, let's get into some of the comments here. So on some talk show, I think it was either Colbert or Kimmel, she admitted that she had only ever seen the original movie once and that it scared her.
Why would that scare
Which,
her? I,
well, I remember my grandmother thinking that movie was scary when she was a kid and saw it. So
well,
I
mm,
guess it depends on the age. Like when you
yeah,
think about there are scary images of the Wicked Queen and like her seeming to die and everything. So I
right, yeah, yeah. When she turns into the hag, and then yeah, but well, yeah, and on top of that, she also said that that Prince Charming was a stalker.
yeah, the original cartoon came out in 1937 and very evidently so. There's a there's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird, weird. So we didn't do that this time.
The part of me wonders if how much of that is her saying that, and how much of that is Disney PR telling her to say that.
Yeah, that's a fair question. Uh,
Maybe a little from column A, a little from column B.
yeah. When asked if the prince would even be in the film, Zegler answered, "We have a different approach to that. I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. That that she talks like people like tweet with no
Yeah,
punctuation or com-
yeah,
she
yeah,
continued, it's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's really going to actually be, but it's not really about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get sentence incomplete. Don't
yeah,
know if that's the original source or if that's bounding into comics. Who
yeah,
knows? It's Hollywood, baby. The only bit of marketing in there was like, oh, is this going to happen? I guess I'll have to see the movie.
yeah. Which that's not very good. Very good marketing.
Zegler then reveals what the film is really about. It's an inner journey that she goes on to find her true self, and she meets a lot of people along the way to make the journey really incredible.
Mm. Yeah, she clearly. It's very clear that she's only seen the original movie once.
Yeah, she's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she is not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, the leader that her late father told her she could be if she was fearless, brave, and true.
The movie. That's not the story of Snow White.
Yeah, I think we said this when we looked at the production stills. It's like, okay, so we got this movie called Snow White, right?
Hmm.
Uh, the character has mocha skin, tan skin. I guess tan skin.
Yeah, yeah.
The character has tan skin. Oh, okay. But if it's the right actress, we can overlook that uh, as a casting choice. Let's. Although, like, I would say that Ariel in the live action one, it makes. Well, I don't want to get into that, but I'd say it's
Yeah,
probably more sensible than that casting choice.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
but okay, so what's her deal? Oh, well, she's Snow White. She has 7 friends who are magical creatures. Oh, you mean dwarves? No, that would be awful. We have one dwarf. Okay, is
Yeah.
she singing about how one day her prince will come? No, in fact, the romance is kind of up in the air. You'll have to see the movie, and she doesn't care about true love. Oh, okay.
Uh, Yeah, why didn't yeah yeah why didn't you just make a totally different movie and not call it
Yeah,
Snow White?
yeah, you'd probably be attracting less criticism at this point if this was, oh, in our new fantasy movie, I don't know, Gretchen and the Seven Amazos. It's an
Yeah,
awful movie, but you get
yeah,
it's not, Gretchen and the Seven Amazos. Oh yeah, Gretchen is a princess. Her dad dies, and she has to become the leader that he knew that she could be. And she meets seven Amazos who are like fantasy creatures, and one's a dwarf.
yeah.
Like I don't know that I would see that, but there wouldn't be anything to complain about.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and you're not sponging off of a beloved IP that has people have loved and adored for generations.
Yeah, like it's just you're just basically people talk about like how the 1998 Godzilla was Godzilla in name only, Gino or Gino. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Yeah,
Um, this is like Snow White in name only.
yeah,
Like whatever criticisms you can make of the remakes of Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and Little Mermaid, unnecessary.
yeah,
um, I don't want to say unwanted because clearly not people went to see those that where there is an audience,
yeah.
but this is like the yeah, this is the most extremely different take because you know that with when you're moving all the themes of love and everything, you're not going to have one day my prince will come.
Right. Yeah. Uh, yeah, it's I was gonna say something else, but I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, yeah, and I will say with regards to Rachel, I know a lot of people are saying like, well, she's only 22, and we all kind of said and did stupid things when we were that age, and
Yep.
you know,
The primary difference is that we didn't have social media to broadcast them to the world. Thank God.
yeah, true, and but of course, and like I said, I don't know how much of it's her saying that or how much of it's like
Yeah.
PR speak, but it's you know, I mean, we were kind of talking this a couple of days before the show, but it's kind of like Brie Larson 2.0. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah. Okay. So the original animated film made it clear. So they're changing what fair means. So they don't mean, of course, I mean, they can't mean fair skinned, but they
Yeah,
they could mean, fair as in beautiful, but they are changing what definition of fair is. So that could just
mm,
be like financial justice, whatever.
yeah,
Also, some of the missing words may not have been her fault because I noticed the writer here. The original animated film made it clear the term referred to beauty and was providing a lesson vanity. And they meant a lesson in vanity.
in
So
vanity. Yeah,
she might be more eloquent than I'm giving her credit for based on these quotes.
yeah, yeah. And Ninjas says, "Man, the controversy wouldn't be as bad if they just made a new Snow White animated Snow White film. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, at the very least, the seven fantasy creatures would look better.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it also occurs to me that like not only is this the case of Snow White in name only, and it's this is anti-marketing not necessarily because of any culture war aspects. Again, this is like narrowly defining the movie. Uh, Okay, so what's the point of a remake, Daniel?
money.
Right, like why do you make a remake instead of making a new property?
Well, because you're drawing in people that liked the original movie, and you want them to go see it. See the new one.
All right, so even if the new movie was a complete bait and switch in all the ways that are being described here,
Hmm.
you could get a decent or even good first box office weekend if people thought they were going to go see uh, a true remake of the original Snow White.
Yes.
You're destroying the point of the remake because it's because like if any other company was making a Snow White movie and it was like this, it might be different. But this is Disney. They codified what Snow White was for 100 years almost.
Yeah, yeah. It was that that movie is Walt Disney's, like, that's his legacy.
Yeah,
That's part of his. What it made Disney what Disney is.
yeah. Everyone thought it was Walt's folly and that they were going to lose their shirts and have to shut down
Yeah,
because nobody had been stupid enough to try to make a or an animated full length feature.
right.
But darn it, he pulled it off.
hmm And it was a massive hit, and the rest, as they say, is history. And
Yep,
they're basically, well, and now they're rewriting that history.
right. I got all the movies to get this in name only treatment. Snow White is probably the most disrespectful.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah.
And it's mildly hilarious to me because it's like they can't it's like they can't ever since Aladdin and Lion King, all of their remakes have been complete horrible duds. Like,
Yeah.
well, okay. I mean, Pinocchio they dumped onto streaming instead of putting it in theaters because it was so bad.
Yeah. And
Uh,
same with uh Lady and the Tramp.
yeah, that was like one of the launch ones for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Uh, and then of course you've got what was the other one? Uh, then like Little Mermaid added Aquafina rapping to it.
Right. Yeah. Jeez. And Mulan.
Oh yeah, can't forget Mulan.
Yeah.
Thanks, concentration camp operators.
Yeah. Ah, jeez.
It's still just amazing to me how well I should say it's astounding to me that Disney's bad press is only starting to catch up with them now.
Yeah.
Because considering years of wait what, wait what, wait what, wait what.
Well, as they say, money talks, and
Now that they're
it,
losing their money, and
yeah, and they can't afford to. Yeah, they can't afford to have their actors going out and saying stupid stuff.
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, we don't necessarily want to get into like the culture wars aspect of it. It's more just like it's the power of anti-marketing. There's anti-health. This is anti-marketing
Yes.
for both of these professionals.
Yeah.
Uh, and I admit I had misread this and thought it was the actor who is Blue Beetle who was saying silly things in advance. And
Mm,
so I was like, oh, they're both young and silly, and they've been raised in a world where you just broadcast what you think on social media, so they're not used to playing mum.
mm.
This is a grown man. I'm not sure what.
I would guess what 50s maybe.
Yeah, like 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
especially be given a like this is a good gig on paper.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it's just not great.
No,
But
it's yeah.
I mean, thankfully, I don't own stock in either company, so it is not my or movie theaters, so it is not my problem.
Yeah, yes. Um, right. So